Good morning, friends. Greetings. Welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 30 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system, the human body, is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you're dealing with a health challenge or a loved one is dealing with a health challenge, let us help you. 844-236-6010. We can show you how simple and easy it is to reverse chronic degenerative disease, to wean yourself off your prescription drugs, to get on a good nutritional supplement program. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, you can head over to brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com and order products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team right off the websites, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And if you're interested in checking out our Truth Skin Health products, if you're dealing with wrinkles or fine lines or hyperpigmentation, dark spots on the skin, or if you have a kid with acne, or if you have acne and you're breaking out, you want to take a look at our Retinol 5% gel. Also take a look at our Truth Serum, Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream, and Truth Balm, all made without preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, water, oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. All 100% active and functional ingredients, all made with lots of vitamin C. And our Retinol 5% gel, of course, is made with 5% retinol. You're not going to see that anywhere. 5% retinol gel. Check out truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so last program we were talking about eating in the brain. We've been talking about brain health, mental health, and eating behavior now for a few days, all as it regards the youth and fertility hormones, DHEA, pregnenolone, and progesterone. I've not forgotten. We got lots to say about those hormones, but I think it's really, really important to understand what is the fundamental cause of all chronic degenerative diseases. What is the fundamental cause of all our health misery? And that is eating behavior, food, and digestion, and the brain and its relationship. The relationship of our mental nature to our eating behavior. I call it mind hunger. Mind hunger is a kind of hunger that's initiated not by our bellies, not by our physiology, but by our mentality, by our mind hunger. And it shouldn't be surprising that we let our thoughts and our mental nature control our hunger drives. We're mental animals. We see the world mentally, through the mind, as much as, if not more than, through the body. Lions and tigers in the wild don't eat when they're bored. They don't eat when they're depressed. Only humans and maybe domesticated animals eat for mental reasons, for mood reasons. And our mental nature doesn't only control our eating drives or our desire to eat, it also controls our choices. We say things like, oh, I deserve some French fries, or I deserve chocolate, or I should have more protein, or hey, eggs are good for me. These are all ways that the mind affects our eating decisions, how we or what we decide to eat, as well as the fact that we're eating. And the price we pay for eating mentally, the price we pay for letting our mental nature override our physiologic drives to eat is distress, is sickness. And after working with unhealthy people for over 30 years now, this is the conclusion that I've come to. The fundamental cause of our collective poor health is food and digestion. And of course, if you've listened to this program for any length of time, That comes as no surprise. But this idea is it's really critical to understand because it's a shortcut for addressing all our health issues. Whatever your health challenge is, focus first on food and digestion. If you just do something as simple as not eat, fasting, for most, at least many, but probably most health challenges that are chronic and progressive and degenerative and inflammatory and involve the immune system, you'll start to feel better. And I know that sounds almost crazy unless you've experienced it or unless you've been listening to me now for the last 6 years on this program and the last 20 years that I've been talking about it. It can't be that simple. It is that simple. It is. If you're sick, try it. Fast for 1 day, 2 days. If you don't believe it, Google it. Look up fasting and chronic degenerative disease, fasting and cancer, fasting and chemotherapy, fasting and inflammation, fasting and multiple sclerosis. And I'm not sitting here saying that fasting is some kind of panacea. It may be, but that's not my point. My point is that we underestimate the power of eating and food and digestion and its relationship to sickness at our own peril. And there are rip-off artists at every turn that will exploit our reluctance to look at this simple solution. They'll sell us formulas, and they'll sell us drugs, and they'll have us tested, and they'll do us CAT scans and MRIs, and go to specialists left and right, here and there, to and fro. We will go to the ends of the world to find some medical professional to give us an MRI or give us a prescription drug or a magic formula or magic remedy, rather than looking at home like the Wizard of Oz, just like the Wizard of Oz. She was home all the time. She was dreaming. She thought she was in another country. She was dreaming, but she was home all the time. Likewise, we think we need to go to the ends of the earth to find a magic formula, and we're home all the time. The healing process is built into our bodies. It's right here. The divine force is built into our bodies. We don't need to go to any priests. We don't need to go to any churches. It's all within us, and I'm not the first person to say that. The kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of healing is within. So, this is all to say, by the way, that if eating behavior is behind our sickness, if eating behavior is changing eating behavior is behind our wellness, there's other things too that we can that eating behavior can modify. Our brain health. Every time we eat food, we go through a high blood sugar, low blood sugar spike if we eat the standard American diet, and that puts us in a lousy mood. Blood sugar goes up, then the blood sugar goes down. We end up grumpy, hypoglycemia. Not only that, but weight loss. That's another issue. Everybody is obsessed with losing weight. And we got Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and Nutrisystems and Marie Osmond. And they say you can eat all the chocolates you want and still lose weight. Weight loss is a direct result of eating behavior. Or weight gain is a direct result of eating behavior. Likewise, weight loss. So not only are you going to feel better, you're going to lose weight. Once we start to eat physiologically and not mentally, once we eat because our bellies want to eat, because our bodies want to eat, not because our minds want to eat, we're going to lose weight, a lot of it. I lost 50 pounds by learning to drop my attention into my belly. I was 50 pounds overweight about probably 7 or 8 years ago. It happened gradually, but one day, and I've told this story before, one day about 8 years ago, I got on the scale. I was 50 pounds more than I should have been, 50 pounds than I was my whole life. Happened over the course of a couple years, and I just took emergency corrective measures. And what I did was I realized that every time I wanted to eat, or the vast majority of times I wanted to eat, I was eating because I thought I wanted to eat, because of my mind. And so I learned to drop my attention into my belly. Learn to move your attention around. We talked to Dr. Nate Klemp yesterday about this idea of attention. Do you know that when you place your attention on something, the brain's pleasure hormone, dopamine, the reward hormone, dopamine, is increased just by placing attention? Learning to place our attention consciously is a powerful, powerful technique. And it's especially powerful in the body. When we learn to place our attention in our bodies and in our bellies and in our stomachs rather than our heads, we'll find we're eating a lot less food. Check it out. Next time you think you're hungry, learn to place your attention to the lower part of your body, to your belly, to the middle of your body, as opposed to your head, and just notice that you're not necessarily going to be hungry there. Our eating is not to satisfy real hunger. It's for pleasure. We eat for pleasure. We eat for brain chemistry. And you know what? The brain's never satisfied. The mind is never satisfied. That's why we overeat. Our bellies can be full, but we're still going to eat. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open for you. We'll get your calls here at the bottom of the hour, as we always do, and try to call in early, and then we'll get to as many calls as possible. And I love talking to you guys, so don't be shy. People call me sometimes on the phone. They're like, I wanted to call on the radio, but I was too shy. Don't be shy. This is fun, okay? And I like it, and we can help you. 844-236-6010. If you have a success story, of course, we'd love to hear those. And if you just want to contribute to the conversation, please do that as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, head to brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com, or call the phone team at 866-735-2470. And if you want to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, please go to truthtreatments.com. If you're dealing with, or if you're about to have surgery, or you want to prevent scarring from a wound, check out our Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream. If you're dealing with acne or blemishes, or you just want a nice anti-aging product, check out our Truth Retinol 5% Gel. Truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so we're talking about food and eating and ways to control eating, learning to move your body down, or your attention down into your body, into the lower part of your body. First of all, just learning that we have this thing called attention, that usually our attention gets directed to shiny things. Usually our attention gets directed naively, without consciousness, our attention gets directed without us paying attention. And I love that phrase, by the way, paying attention. That points to the fact that our attention is a resource. We pay it. It's like cash. And you want to be spending your attention wisely. If we're spending our attention mentally, first of all, we're missing our lives. That's what Dr. Klemp was talking about yesterday. The more we spend attention in our minds, the less we're present, the less we're living our lives. That's how it happens that we wake up one day and we're 50 years old or 60 years old and we missed our lives. That would be the worst nightmare. That's not going to happen to me. I hope it doesn't happen to anybody, really. You wake up and you're 70 years old. What the heck happened to my life? That's because we live our lives mentally. We spend our attention, we pay attention mentally. So learning to pay attention to the belly is super important to lose weight. Super important if you're dealing with a chronic, long-term degenerative disease. Especially if you're in fear. We've created this culture of fear, a society that is dripping with fear. We are immersed in fear, which is the opposite of love. You ever hear about love on the news? Do you ever hear all the love that's going on in the news? No, you only hear about fear. And isn't it ironic? Because there's way more love than there is fear. But because we're hardwired to consider fear to be more important, because love's not a survival threat, fear is. So fear plays on our hard wiring. We're predisposed to negative bias. We're predisposed to seeing the dark side. We're predisposed to being scared. And guess what? There are predators left and right that will exploit that. So we got a culture that encourages us to be miserable. And then it surrounds us with food to take care of the misery. How do you like that? They promote the fear, promote the misery, and then promote the food to take care of the fear and the misery. How sneaky is that? Terrorism and taxes and viruses and the New World Order and the globalists, and then McDonald's and peanut butter cups and Ben and Jerry's come to the rescue. This is nasty stuff, folks. We should be so ticked off about this. And it's been going on for a long time, especially since the Industrial Revolution in the mid-19th century, when profit margins skyrocketed when they figured out how to mass-produce food artificially, synthetically. In the middle of the 19th century, there was actually a disease called neurasthenia. It was a brand new disease. Doctors christened this thing neurasthenia, which basically means a lack of energy, or specifically a lack of nerve energy. It was a disease that only affected rich people. It was a disease that only affected high-powered, relatively wealthy Americans. Today we call them type A people. And so doctors back in the 1860s and 1870s, they noticed that the most educated and the most cultured and the wealthiest of Americans were suffering from migraine headaches and digestive problems and fatigue and depression, mental illness, none of which seemed to be related to any specific causes. They would just say that the patient is suffering from a case of the nerves. And this was a brand new thing. This was a unique condition, the nerves. Pretty obviously, it was a result of the culture. It all of a sudden appeared in the 1860s as the Industrial Revolution was kicking in. It was a cultural phenomena. And guess what? They don't call it neurasthenia anymore, but it's still going on. they call burnout, or they call it PTSD, or clinical depression, or chronic fatigue, maybe fibromyalgia. And oh yeah, they got plenty of remedies for that, particularly antidepressants. 1 out of 10 Americans is on an antidepressant.